My experience with dementia began 34 years ago with my career as an occupational therapist assistant, and I found myself encountering a lot of folks with dementia and just really had a heart for what they were going through and really developed a love for these folks and wanted to help them. Little did I know at that time that years later my father would begin to suffer from memory loss. And I remember that my sisters and I began to be concerned when he began to struggle with his money and being able to provide for his own needs. We soon learned tragically that he was being scammed. That ended up very sad in that he really lost a lot of money, and it really impacted him emotionally. He was very ashamed, and he was having to borrow money from us to help with food. So over the next few years, we began to invest more time spending with him to make sure that things were going okay for him and that he had what he needed in the home. And eventually, he ended up living with my sister for a season. At that point, he was requiring more care. He was still very independent in many ways, but there were concerns about him driving. And he would get lost and call my sister, and she'd have to pick him up. And so there were just things that were beginning to happen that were beginning to be a big concern. And then following a surgery, having had anesthesia really knocked him for a loop. And after that, she was very overwhelmed with the care for him. Because I had experience and I also had a spouse that was at home and more than willing to allow my dad to come and live with us, we brought him to Florida, and he did live with us for the last 3 years of his life. Even though I had a lot of dementia experience, there's nothing like that personal experience. So I totally understand that there are often things that we face that are very difficult to traverse, that sometimes don't have a good solid answer. But I did learn a lot through that experience, and I think it did make me a much better clinician and much better equipped to help others with what they struggle with. On a personal level, if you're someone struggling yourself with dementia, or for caregivers. I'm very happy to be a part of Boat's Memory Method and to be able to serve with Sira to help you in your journey.